Hi everyone, it's Jill Lancet and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and welcome to my videos. If you haven't seen them before, I hope you enjoy them. I'm just going to get a bit of business out of the way first. I do have an online store, the address of which is there, jilllancet.stampinup.net. There is a September host code. For those that know what that is, you just add that into your order at the ordering stage, at the cart stage, and it's for orders under $250. If you order over $250, it will actually offer you some rewards. So yeah, so that ends on the 30th of September. September has been an extremely busy month in the Stampin' Up! World. I've been posting loads and loads of stuff. Yesterday we had a one-day sale. I did post it on my Facebook page. I'm sorry if you missed it. There is the weekly sales in September coming. There's a new lot come out this week. There's, I think, one lot left to go, and we also have a promotion during September, Perfect Partners, and they are dies that have been created to coordinate with certain stamp sets, but they are not in any catalogues. They are only available online, and they are shown as Perfect Partners. If you go into my store, there's a drop-down box for specials. You will see that and the September specials there if you want to have a look at those. Okay, enough. Now, I have been incredibly busy for the last week or so, and I'm sorry I didn't get around to making a video. I just ran out of time and energy. So I'm kind of giving you a 2-for-1 here today. So I'm going to try and be as quick as I can to fit it all in. I know everyone's busy and they're very time poor these days. So the first card features this beautiful paper. Now, this is a bit glary. It's called the Lights Aglow paper. Now, it's a 6x6 pack, and it's got all these beautiful papers that have foil accents on them. Now, I'm hoping that gets picked up because they're absolutely lovely. Now, naturally, because they're two-sided, there is another side to them, and that is not foiled. But they are still very useful. They're beautiful papers. They're very good quality paper. They're not thin. As you can see, they're almost like a cardstock, a very thin cardstock, but they're very solid papers. Now, included in this pack, you might have seen it as I flipped past them, there's these ones, and there is the soft succulent ones when I can find them. There they are. And I thought, what the heck would you do with those? Now, they've got these beautiful little gold frames on them, and I thought, well, that looks a bit weird, but you cut them out and you've got instant little frames. So we're going to utilize these in our cards today, but I wanted to show you that the stylish shapes dies are the ones I've used, and as you can see, it misses out a little bit. It's the largest circle. It does miss out a little bit of those stars on the outside, but still you've got this beautiful frame. This is the largest of the squares, I believe, and yeah, it just frames it up perfectly. So yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting to find that out, and then I used them. So they're the papers that we're using. The stamp set that we're using for this first one is called Brightest Glow, and this is in the mini catalogue. We've still got our mini catalogue going. It goes until December. Now, I have marked the pages from the items that we're using today. I hope that is not glary. So these are the papers, the Lights Aglow 6x6 papers. We're also going to be using this beautiful ribbon. It's cream or very vanilla, and it's got a gold thread through it. It's also got a little bit of like organdy or organza in the center of it. So very, very nice ribbon. The other items that we're using are in this particular one, not that, sorry, I did this quickly. We're using, oh no, we were using this gold, rose gold and gold metallic paper. Now I've got a bit of a scrap of it here, and it's textured. It's beautiful. It's really, really lovely. So we're going to be using some gold in that. We're also going to be using these ribbons here, and I got tricked because they're all under the same heading. We're using the Evening Evergreen. It's on a page 146. So these are all the last year's in colours, so that they've put them all together under that heading there. So that was a bit tricky for me. In this one we're using also a die, this die here, from the Painted Labels die set. Now this goes with the Painted Poppies set of stamps. They're no longer a bundle, but beautiful. Look, you get 2 beautiful labels plus these 2 that you can use as labels. And we're also using the, as I said, the stylish shapes. So you get squares, circles, and then banners. And those circles and squares just happen to fit that paper. So yeah, happy accident? I don't know. Anyway, so we also need, I've got it all here. I'm just going to bear with me. So here is the first card that we are going to make. And it's quite simple, but it's really, really lovely, I think. I would say that because I made it. And it's letting the paper shine. The paper has got this beautiful gold foil. Here is that shape that we're using. I've only glued the centre down so that we've got a bit of dimension. You could even raise that up if you wanted to. We're using one ink, which is the Evening Evergreen. And without any further ado, I will start showing you how I created that. Now, I am going to do some die cutting. Usually I've got a lot of stuff prepared. These were quite easy, so I will go ahead with that and do some die cutting. So we need an envelope and we need a card base. The card base is an A4, cut in half this way, and scored at 10.5 centimetres. That's our card base. Just fold that over and we've got our card base. You need a scrap or a piece of that beautiful gold metallic paper. This is the die. This is the die that creates that, and it's might be a bit fiddly to get all those little bits out, but it's well worth it. So we need one piece of paper. Now, obviously in this one I chose that one. This one I chose this one just to show you something different. And so that is 9.7 centimetres this way and 14 centimetres that way. And a little piece for the envelope, which is 11.1 by 2.5 centimetres. So we'll pop that over there. We don't need that at the moment. We don't need the card base at the moment, so we'll pop that over there. Now I am going, oh, and you need a scrap of cream. Where have I done? What have I done with my scrap of cream? Hold your horses, honey. Luckily I've got a scrap over here. So we need a scrap of cream. So let's pretend that's our scrap of cream, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is stamp this with one of the stamps from this set, and I'm using this All Is Merry and Bright. And we're going to put that, stamp that in the Evening Evergreen. So I'll do that. I just popped that on there so I could keep it together. So once I've done that, then I can do the die cutting. So just ink your stamp up. And these are those beautiful big red rubber stamps. They have a cushion on them. so you don't need your stamp and mat. Right, so we'll just pop that in, bearing in mind that I've got to put this circle around it. So I want to put it, you know, make sure it's got a bit of room around it. And there we go. Just hold that down for a minute. Contrary to what a lot of people think, you've got to smush that down really, really hard. No, you don't. You just give it a reasonable amount, like two finger pressure, and just hold it for a second, and it'll turn out beautifully every time. And if it doesn't, turn it over. So there we go. We've got our beautiful stamped image. So I'm going to center it up inside this circle die. Just bear with me. And it fits beautifully in there. Almost like it was made for it. So just center it up. I always use tape, and it's repositional tape, only because by the time I sort myself out, I've moved them. So now I'm just going to get my little Stamp and Emboss Bertha. Oh, there's too many words in that. So this is it. This is a little stamp and cut and emboss machine, and it's quite lightweight. I mean, I can hold it in one hand. You've got a handle that you can carry it. It's very portable. These two little doors are open like that. You get all the plates that are required for it. I've just popped it on a bit of fun foam to stop it from slipping. You get all the plates. You also get a plate for embossing, but we're cutting today. So I'll pop that one there. Now I found this paper was a little bit tougher, so I decided to just pop another piece of cardstock underneath it, just to give it a bit of extra oomph. So I'll just tear that off because it's all warped. So I just want to, give it a little bit of extra. Sometimes I find that if that happens, if it doesn't quite cut through, you might need to put a shim, and that's a shim. That extra piece there is what we call a shim. Now I'm just going to pop those in there like that and turn the handle. Oh, do it straight. Now once it grabs, it's really not that hard. So you can hold it with this handle and it makes it infinitely easier. But you'll get a little bit of extra resistance because you've got that extra piece underneath it. So now I can check to see if that has cut all the way through. And it might not have cut through the second piece, but it will have certainly cut through the first piece. So I'm just going to pop that out. Got a bit of music playing. I always find that I craft a little bit better when there's some music playing. Right, and there's our beautiful stamped piece. Now that's stuck on there, so I'm just going to get my take your pick tool and just lift that up a little bit. Okay, so we can pop that back in there. I'll get rid of these, and now we will concentrate on getting these pieces out of here. And it's not hard. Like, see, it just pokes right through. And now don't forget we've got this extra piece on the back, so once we take that off there, and you can just take your pick tool and just sort of, once you've separated the two, just get it under there and continue on, and it'll come up in no time. And sometimes even the pieces that you don't want in there will stay stuck to the backing piece, although it doesn't look like they're going to do. Oh yeah, there we go. Some of them have. So that's rubbish now, but now we need to pop these out, and I found the easiest way is to put it flat on the table and lift this. So lift that. Just be careful because this is quite delicate. the pieces that you're left with are quite thin. So yeah, you don't want to be yanking and ripping at that. But by the same token, you want to get them out. So yeah, just be a bit careful. And I've always loved this particular shape, this particular die cut. And it came from the Painted Poppies coordinating die. And, oh, yeah, I just love it. It's just different. It's different from just a plain circle. And it just adds that little bit of pizzazz. So that's that done. Right, we've got that. I'll just get rid of that. And now we can assemble the card. This one is very, very quick. So I'm going to stamp the inside first. Now, I don't usually show you guys that I'm stamping on the inside because most of the time I'm going to use that card later, so I choose a different greeting. But today I am doing this, and I'll show you why I'm doing it. If I stamp that crooked or wrong, because I'm going straight onto the card base, I can fold it back this way and it's now the front of the card and I can cover it up. Ask me how I learnt to do that. So yeah, I'm going to do that first. I'm just going to clean this other stamp because of course I'll probably put my finger in it. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to ink it up. It says, "May the peace of the season light your world and may your new year be the brightest." So that's really nice for Christmas. So I'm just going to stamp it up, and it's got a beautiful font in there amongst the other font. So yeah, that makes it look really nice. So I'm going to stamp it, fingers crossed that I get this right. Okay, so I wanted to, when I do them, I kind of want to put them just a smidge up higher than center. Mainly because it leaves you a bit more room to write down here. Usually you're just putting dear so-and-so up the top, and it seems to balance it out a bit better. So excuse me if my head gets into camera, but I'm just going to put that down, and trust me, I hold my breath while I place them down. So again, just, you know, 2 fingers. You could do this, of course, on the Stamparatus, have it set up so that you just put your card base in and it will stamp in exactly the same place. So if you're doing a lot of them, if you want to do a lot of them for Christmas, you can do it in like, what do they call it? Like a process worker's, a production line. That's what I'm trying to think of. So yeah, so that's turned out okay. Looks straight. Don't have to do the little trick where I turn it over. Excellent. So that's done. Okay. So this one, as I said, is quite quick. Apart from the die cutting, it is quite quick to put together. So all it is this piece here. We're going to put that on the front. We're going to put our beautiful ribbon just across the bottom of it. And I'll just snip that off. Scissors. Now, some people wrap that around and tie the bow. I can't do that. It never turns out for me. So this is the quickest way I do it. I put a little bit of our Stamp and Seal on the back. Now I want to go up about 1/3. Okay, I want to put the ribbon up about 1/3. So Stamp and Seal on the back. That is just going to catch the ribbon for us. And now I can just tuck that in and I know it's going to catch. Now if you needed to measure that, use your grid paper. It's really, really good for that. You know, if you never get anything straight, and sometimes I don't, yeah, you can use your grid paper for that. So I've got my ribbon, I've tucked it under. It's secure now, it's not coming undone. Don't do it too tight or you'll end up with the front of your card bowing. So I'm gluing that on. As I said, This is a really quick one. So if you wanted to make these as your Christmas cards for the year, for this year, I mean, you really kind of need to get a start on them. But you could cut out all the paper, you could die cut everything, stamp everything, and then just put them together in a production line. Make sure you've got your card the right way around. Done that before. And just glue that down. Now, I'm just going to put something on that to keep that, to get that glue going, and while I make the bow. Now, I always make the bow straight off the spool, and this is that beautiful, it's called satin edged ribbon, gold, and very vanilla, and it's very lovely. It's lightweight, and yeah, it's really nice. So I made a double bow, and I'm going to show you what I used. But you could just make your own. I bought this many, many years ago. It's called Bow Easy. I never really thought it was that easy, to be honest. But anyway, so you need to have enough to wrap around twice. And this is probably going to be miles too much. Oh, no, that should work out a bit. Okay. So you wrap it around twice. So you effectively got two bows, 2 loops, and we need to get this piece, this tail piece, pop it through there. I mean, it makes really nice double bows, but it's a bit of a pain. So if you can do them better than me, more power to you. So you want to pull that through there, and then wrap it around, and then tie your knot, which I'm never really good at. So you need to lift that last piece up, and you need to tuck it under there. Tuck it under, and then tuck it back under there. And I don't think I have left enough, but it doesn't matter. Oh, it is so awkward. I don't know why they named it Bow Easy, but anyway, I don't even know if you can get them anymore, so. There we go. So, and then you just slip that off, and you've got your bow, I hope. Nope. So if you're worried about it, tie another knot. If in doubt, tie another knot. Well, that went well, didn't it? I did it really easy. Oh dear. There we go. Double bow. Oh my goodness. Tools are meant to make it easier. So I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And I'm sure you can probably get one on eBay or whatever. I'm not sure if they still make them, these people, but it creates different sizes of bows for what it's worth. Okay, so I've got that now. Sorry. I hope you talked amongst yourselves while I was messing that up. Anyway, there we go. So we've got our double bow, which when the ribbon is thin, like when it's very narrow like this, sometimes a double bow gives it a fuller look. So all we're going to do now is pop this up on Stampin' Dimensionals. So probably, as you know, I kind of tend to go overboard with these. So I'm going to do 4, like a clock. and then one in the middle. I mean, you don't have to put that many on if that's the way you roll, but this is the way I roll. And I've still got this stupid, I'm pretty sure it's what they're calling long COVID now. I'm still having coughing outbursts. So now this goes in the center of that. Now, I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold that up a little bit. There's a bit of a stitched border around there, which is lovely. And there is a definite direction to this. It's like brushed metal. So I thought it would look best if it went horizontal. So if you're going to do that, like if that's something, like, you know, if you're OCD like me and you worry about stuff like that, then you better make sure you get it straight or it'll bother you. So there you go. So that's up on the dimensionals. And then we're just going to glue this part of it straight onto the card front. So a bit of liquid glue. And just make sure you've got your message straight. And you want to put it up in this half of the card, like, yep. So with the glue, with the liquid glue, see, now I've still got time to move that around, to maneuver that before it dries. So if that's not 100% straight, you've still got a few seconds to sort that out. There we go. Glue dot on this, and because this ribbon's a bit gauzy, really that glue dot that I put on the bow is going to hold the ribbon as well, because it'll go through. So I just pop that on the glue dot, just like that. Give it a good press, peel it off, and center that up. Give that a press, and trim those tails up a bit. And there you've got a really nice, the first of my Christmas cards. And really, once you do all your prep work, you can do it in a conveyor belt manner. Now I decorated the envelope as well. And what did I do with the little piece? Oh, who knows? Oh, here it is. So this was like 11.1 by 2.5 centimetres, and it's just a scrap that was left over. So pop it on your envelope. Just make sure you're putting it on the right side. You don't want it to interfere with the stamp. And a little bit of glue. Now you can get all this stuff in my online store. So if you want to start thinking about your Christmas cards, go and have a look there. So there's the two cards together with their envelopes. That's upside down, Miss Jane. So yeah, and there's so much paper in that little pack. And there is several different colours. So you can choose your background paper. You will know that one side of your paper will all have beautiful gold foil. So there is heaps of paper there. You can make heaps of cards out of that, not to mention these little panels that we're going to do in the next card. So that's those two. And yeah, if I don't say so myself, I think that's a really nice little card. Now, if you don't have the brushed metallic paper, any gold foil, I could have even done that in a coordinating colour like the Evening Evergreen, although it wouldn't have shown up, I don't think. So I think the gold, whatever gold you use, and this beautiful ribbon has the gold through it, so it ties it in beautifully. So that's card number 1. Okay, now card number 2 is called, I'm calling it Lights Aglow. Now that's the name of this paper. That first one is called All is Merry and Bright. Okay, So the second card is very similar to this card. Now you could create both of these cards and have one as an alternate to send. So there's our card. I vowed that I would use more Very Vanilla, and I'm trying to stick to that. So what I did here was I cut these out. I cut the square out with the square die and the circle out with the circle die. And then I thought, what if you could cut the square around the circle as well? You're going to get two. You're getting 2 frames. So that's what I did with this one. I mean, you could alternate them. One card you could make with the square frame, and the other card you could make with just the round frame. They would both look as equally as good. So I'm going to show you how I did that. You can't do them at the same time because the dies overlap. But this time I've used this beautiful cream coloured card here from the paper. Now, bear with me. So you need your card base, and I'll just pop that up there for reference. So you need your card base and your envelope, of course. And this is how I cut these out. First of all, I cut the square, and then I cut the circle. So I'll go ahead and do that right here. But first I'm going to stamp my piece of Very Vanilla. Same stamp, same colour. So minimal supplies, but 2 different cards. So we'll do that first. It's the same message. You could alternate the message as long as it fits within that circle. Now I just got a bit on the edge, so I'm just wiping that off, because knowing my luck, I'll put it everywhere. So I'm stamping it again, just holding that down for a minute. And these are the same papers. The only exception is the ribbon is the Evening Evergreen ribbon, and it is found in the annual catalogue, and it is in the Evening Evergreen colour. So we've got that. That is for the green. So we've got a green circle, and we need our die for this. I'm just going to pop that over and put it into centre that. Now you might notice that I didn't use any embellishments. You don't need to. The paper has gold foil on it. I mean, you can if you want to, but that's one less step, one less set of supplies that you need. So we'll just pop those over here for the minute, and I'll get Bertha back out again and do some die cutting. Just bear with me for a second. Now we're going to have to run this one through twice because we want to cut the circle out of the centre of it. So this seems like double handling, that I just put all of that. Anyway, never mind. We'll get there. So where are the plates? Plates are here. So we'll do this one. Do this one. And it's good that if you cut your little scraps small enough, they will go through the mini, which, you know, saves a lot of getting the big one out and all the rest of it. So we'll put that one through. And there's no shim required here. You don't have to put that extra piece. Normally I do go backwards though and give it another go. So they're done. I'll just pop them over there. And do this one here. Now, if you cut this down too, it fits in, if you cut them in half. So that's what I've done there. So cutting the square first, just making sure that I didn't move that. Don't know what's going on there. So now I've cut the square. Now I can cut the circle. So I'll pop that out. And this is why I like the tape, because it doesn't move, especially when you want to line something up like this square. We wanted to line the square up so we can use that later on. And this is now the circle. Now you want to make sure that your edges are within the boundaries of the square, and you can pretty much see the border on the inside of the die as well as the outside of the die. So that's in place now. Just run that through and run it back. So we're actually using the square, not the circle part of this, but the circle can be used on a different card. In fact, I might even use the circle on this one just to show you the difference of what it looks like. So in this case, I'm keeping the square for another project. I'm going to use the circle today. So let me just get this stuff out of the way. Right. Okay, so we've got all of our circles cut out. So we need these three. We need the and this is relatively quick to put together as well, once you've pre-cut everything. Okay, so we've got our card base, our cherry cobbler piece, which is 10.14.3, 10 by 14.3, I should say. We've got our gorgeous, very vanilla piece, which is 13.4 by 9.3 centimetres. So you're using just one piece of cardstock and one piece of designer series paper, with the exception of that. So now it's a simple case of putting the thing together. So again, I'm going to stamp the same message on the inside. I did decorate this slightly different to the way I'm going to decorate this one. Where is my little piece? Here it is. So what I did was I just used a scrap, and it's 1.5 I should say by 9.8. I don't know where I am today, sorry, I'm all over the place. So this is on the inside. I'm going to stamp it first. Remember, stamp it first in case you get it wrong. You can flip it over and cover it up. So I'm just inking that up. Now I kind of put it over a little bit, sort of centered it between where that is going to go, just to create a bit of balance there. So yeah, lay your piece down here if you need to, and then center it up in this area here. Okay, fingers crossed, hold your breath. Sorry if my head is in the way. There we go. Now if you wanted to change it up, this could be very cherry cobbler ink, just to change it up, but I didn't have any cherry cobbler ribbon, so that's why I decided to make it the evening evergreen. So I'm just holding that there just to absorb it, and beautiful, even if I do say so myself. So now I'm going to glue that in. That's done then. The inside of the card is done. Just pop a little bit of glue down there. I even cleaned my glue holder the other day. It was getting a bit manky, as we like to say. Bit manky. Right, Done. So now we can decorate it. So the first thing that's going on is the cherry cobbler. And I'm pretty sure I just gave you the measurement for that. So there is a bit of a border. And you can see my pencil mark there. So I love these really, really cheap rubbers, erasers, whatever you want to call them. They're like plastic, but they also take glue off. So I always keep a whole pile of these handy. So they're really, really handy. Okay, sidebar. Now I have to have a mouthful of coffee because I've been talking non-stop, basically. Okay, so now we've got that there. So now we need to put our ribbon, and this time it's going that way. So this is the gorgeous evening evergreen ribbon. So I'm doing it exactly the same way as I did it before. A bit of Stamp and Seal just across there like that. See, that worked perfectly. The other day I couldn't get this thing to... Anyway, never mind. Just cut that to just a little bit wider than the card. And I just want to see where I'm going to put this. So I want it to be about there. So essentially about a third. Yeah, that seems to be the go, about a third. So just tuck that in, tuck that in. There we go. Beautiful. Now that can go straight onto the card before it sticks to everything else. So just a bit of glue. Look at this beautiful paper that I'm having to cover up on the back. Oh, it's a curse and a blessing, this paper, when it's double-sided. Okay, so that's going on there like that. A lovely border to tie in the cherry cobbler. And now, rather than have that square there, we're now going to have this beautiful circular frame. And look how beautifully they fit in one another. That is the stylish shapes, dies. Look how beautiful they fit. Okay, so we're going to glue this one down. We're going to glue this one down, but we're popping this one up. And the reason being that I didn't want it to be too thick in case it doesn't go through the mail. So we'll do these two together. So a bit of glue. And be careful, there are holes, and that glue will actually seep out of those holes, believe it or not. So centre that up and then glue that on. So we want to go into this half of the card now. So centre that up between the two parts of the ribbon. There we go. That looks okay to me. So that's there. We need some Stampin' Dimensionals for this little message. Again, I'm going to do 4 and 1 in the middle. 4 on each edge. And 1 in the middle. If you're wondering what that music is, it's Chopin today. Just for a change. Okay, so now that's stuck on, so we need to get this really right. So make sure it's straight. I hope that's straight. Make sure the border around is even. And if you don't press it down, like if you accidentally get it stuck down, you can still lift it up as long as you haven't stuck it right down. Look, from where I'm sitting, that looks okay to me. Oh, except it moved. You know, I probably should have put that on before I glued it on. Right, that's it, that's done. And again, a bow. This time it's a single bow. What did I do with the ribbon? Here it is. But it is a bigger bow. So, yeah, I just do the old rabbit ears. Probably should have just done that with the last bow. I need it bigger, don't I? Yeah, you can do it. You can do double bows. You just put 2 lengths of ribbon together. There we go. But you know what they say, it'll be all right on the night. 9 times out of 10 it's not. Anyway, there we go. So yeah, I wanted a kind of a bigger bow. That might be a bit too big. Let's have a look. Yep, that looks okay. So now that I've done the bow, I can sort of muck around with it. Okay, glue dot. And this is that beautiful organdy, organza, whatever one it is, because I don't even know. They could be the same thing for all I know. Organza and organdy, I don't know. But anyway, I put it this way, but you could put it that way if you wanted to, but I liked it better this way. So center that up, stick it down, and then you can trim these up. So 2 reasonably quick cards. Oh, and what I did on the envelope, I just used this little spatter, thing, and this is from the greenery. This one here, Forever Fern. It's that little spatter stamp there, and I don't know. You don't want to send out a naked envelope, do you? So you just get your envelope, inked it up with the Evening Evergreen, and I literally did just stamp it several times so that I got different strengths. So one there, one there, one there, before I re-inked it. So there's 3 different intensities of ink, and I just kind of made it go down a little bit like that. So maybe that one, ink that up again, do a solid one here, and then do a couple there and there. Oh, 4 times. Look at that. It just gives it a bit of texture and a bit of interest. Yeah, done. Oops, put a couple more there. So I'll just pop those in side by side. This is the one we made with the circle frame, and this is the one that we made with the square from cutting the circle out. So you could alternate those, so you're not wasting anything. We don't like waste. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. Look, if you do want to go to my website, that would be really, really great. If you bought something, that'd even be better, but, you know, no hard selling here. But there it is. There's my host code, and I'll just pop the 4 cards down side by side, just so you can have a look at them again. Also, 2 are portrait and 2 are landscape. But the paper is clearly the star of the show in these cards. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for your time. Please go and subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and click on that little bell, and you will be notified when I do upload them. So I'm sorry about last week's video, but you did get 2 for 1 today. Okay, thank you. Bye.